Good Thursday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. It's time for the weather desk, where you've got a half an hour, a great show lined up for you, and some really interesting things to talk about today. I think you're really going to enjoy today's show. We always cover today's top weather headlines, and we've got a bunch to go over. So let's take a look at our topics this morning. As we start off, we're going to look out west. The heat continues out there. I think the peak of heating has passed for the California coast, but it has been something else out there. They've had extreme heat, and we'll kind of check in on how they're doing. One thing with all the heat, there's been some snow droughts out west as well. We were talking with a guest to our studios yesterday, talking about the base, the snow base out in Colorado, where he took a recent ski trip. Just wasn't quite as deep. They were able to still ski, but it was kind of icy, the snow base, not typically what it was or what they come to expect. I will tell you, out in California, at least one resort had to shut down super early due to the lack of snow and the warm temperatures. We'll fill you in on what happened with that. Now, in addition, we've got a really sad story. A ski gondola taken off the cable, one of those cable cars at a Swiss resort, a ski resort in the Alps. It came crashing down. There was a fatality. We're going to talk about that, why it's so unusual. Those things just don't typically happen. In addition, we're going to talk about the Nebraska wildfires. We've been hitting on this over the past few days. There has been some improvement in terms of the containment, but there is still a very high fire danger for portions of the Great Plains. We'll take you back out to Nebraska, update you on that, and show you which areas still need to watch the burning out west. Then this story, I'm really excited about this. We're going to have a live interview with one of my colleagues from our sister station in Toledo, where they've been tracking the aftermath of the fireball in the sky over Ohio and Pennsylvania earlier in the week. You remember there was a meteor or an asteroid that broke up and fragmented down, and now we'll talk about where that happened and what folks are looking for down on the ground. It's really a cool story. We'll have more on that, and again, talk live with a meteorologist, one of my colleagues back in that part of the country, what they're doing back there. Then we also have a closer look at the ISS spacewalk. Now, if you saw yesterday on Live Impact News, we just kind of sat on that live feed for a while because it was awesome, and we're going to show you some more from that and talk a little bit about what they've been doing, and we'll get you an update. That and our extended forecast here in Hampton Roads. It's cold again this morning, but temperatures are going to be warming up. I can tell you things as far as the national picture go, not too bad in terms of severe weather. We don't really have anybody that's under any outlook for severe weather. So we're going to focus on these stories today, and I think you'll find some of this stuff really interesting. So we begin and we talk about that heat wave. Technically, yes, it is still winter, but you can see it's still been very hot out west. Look at Phoenix yesterday, up to 102, 94 in Vegas. They had low 90s across California the past few days. LA topped out at 82 yesterday. So that heat wave is pretty much peaked out west. Many are still seeing summer-like temperatures, shattering records in some cases, and Reed Binion reports.
It was really hot. Today it's going to be the same.
It's hot. I'm melting right now as we speak, so it's only going to get hotter as the day goes on.
People in Southern California sweltering in triple-digit temperatures in some places amid a rare March heat wave.
The fan blows, but you have no air.
The heat also having a potential impact on agriculture in some parts of the Golden State.
It's warm, but it's not killing plants warm, right? No huge negatives right now. If this extends out a couple extra days, then all of a sudden you could be seeing problems.
The heat wave extending to other western states as well. Phoenix this week broke the record for its earliest triple-digit temperature day ever.
We should be seeing highs right around 80 degrees, but instead we're talking 20, 25 degrees above normal, getting into the 100s.
Wednesday was also the beginning of a days-long extreme heat warning for areas around Las Vegas. The National Weather Service cited dangerously hot temperatures that could reach near 30 degrees above normal for this time of year. The warning covers parts of northwest Arizona, southeast California, and southern Nevada and will remain in effect through Sunday evening. The Lake Mead National Recreation Area closed several trails due to safety concerns during the heat wave. Officials cited dangerous conditions with a high risk of heat-related illness. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
All right, so Lake Mead, it isn't the only place forced to close because of the heat wave. We're going to go back up into Northern California. You see Mount Shasta here. Mount Shasta Ski Park closed after being open for just 55 days this season. The resort's about an hour from the Oregon state line, and it had to cut its operations in half due to the hotter temperatures and the lack of snow. It will take the staff several weeks to completely shut down the park until next season. And what a disappointment for all those that love to ski out there to have to shut down early.
This was not a normal season whatsoever. This is one of the shorter seasons we've had in a very long time. I think the biggest loss on our mind is that we really appreciate and enjoy our team that we get up here during the season, and we would have loved to support them longer. A good snow year next year. I'm just going to put it into the universe now. It's going to be a good snow year.
We'll certainly look forward to that. Hopefully they'll get one. The resort closed again, as I mentioned, 55 days this season. For reference, this season typically lasts 95 days and can even go up to 120 days if they have really good snowy years. So we'll turn our attention here from Mount Shasta and the ski park there to the bigger picture here nationally and take you overseas to Switzerland. And we're going to focus in on an area in the central part of Switzerland in the Swiss Alps, just south of Stans, where there was a ski resort and a terrible accident there. It's under investigation. Here's what we know. A 61-year-old woman died in Engelberg yesterday. That's after strong winds brought down a cable car from the cableway. That cabin then rolled down the side of the mountain. The woman who died was the only person inside the gondola. The resort suspended further operations due to high winds and evacuated everyone else from the cableway. Just really, really tough. I was reading statements from the CEO and the cable company. They said cable cars don't come down off the cables. This was such a rare event, and it is under investigation. They really need to pinpoint what exactly it was that brought that down. But there were very gusty winds, and they did shut down operations, obviously following that. Well, here back in the United States, we have the winds fueling some massive wildfires in Nebraska. And you take a look here in the northwest part of Nebraska. They've really been dealing with this high fire danger. Hundreds of firefighters have been working for days to contain the flames. So far, the Cottonwood fire has scorched more than 130,000 acres and is 40% contained, while the Morrill fire has burned nearly 650,000 acres, and that one is just 16% contained. This morning, we're hearing from a rancher who stayed up all night hauling water to his property to keep the flames from spreading further. Tristan Winder has reports.
Behind is hard to miss. Blackened ground, scorched fence lines, and the reminder for many families that the emergency did not end when flames moved out. Travis Sullivan says that last Thursday, the flames of the Morrill fire moved fast towards his Garden County property.
The flames had got up in there, so we turned the horses loose, set them on their own, because they'll find a place to be. So we saved the barn because we figured we'd have this afterwards, but I didn't think it'd be this bad, truthfully.
As the flames approached, Sullivan turned Thursday night into a nonstop run for water.
It was just an all-night deal of just running water back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, keeping the spot fires down.
Back and forth from exactly?
From Oshkosh, Nebraska, our house in town.
Sure.
And then back up to here where the horses and stuff are kept.
And how much of a drive is that for you?
Oh, it's about 10 miles.
Is it?
Yeah.
So just back and forth delivering water?
Yep, bringing water, and then we would catch spot fires on the way back. If we had a little bit of left type thing, we'd still catch just a few spot fires on the way back.
Sullivan saying up until the Morrill County fire came blazing through just days ago, the land behind us was completely covered in grass that was at least calf high.
Oh, complete dread, loss. I mean, there's no words for it. There's just no words for it. The time we got down in here, like I said, we barely had enough time to kick the gates open, get them the heck out of here.
For Sullivan, the outlook comes down to this. The worst did not happen.
Until I lost my folio in the morning, I was feeling gratefully lucky because I just lost things. I know people who've lost, the home they're living in. They've lost a lot of their livestock, which they make their living off of. I mean, I lost a lot of inventory, no doubt about it. But I mean, I count myself very lucky from what happened through here.
So let's take a look at the fire danger out west. You can see Denver and these areas shaded in kind of this orangish, yellowish color here. They're under fire weather watch. So conditions are good. It's not a warning. The areas shaded in red, which include portions of Wyoming, Rock Springs through Lander, back over to Casper and around Cheyenne, back up into Rapid City, get up into South Dakota, and we head into Nebraska. These areas are continuing under fire danger with the dry and windy conditions. And you saw from the interview with that rancher, there in the Great Plains, it is wide open, flat, so those winds can come howling, and as sparks fly, they can travel quickly. So they're going to continue to work on that. We just wanted to update you on the fire danger out west. All right, it is time for a quick break, and coming up in a couple of minutes, we're going to have more on the fireball. What caused it? Again, it was a space rock, a giant space rock coming in. It exploded. We're going to talk live with one of my colleagues from Toledo, Ohio, talking about what they're now looking for on the ground there in that part of the country. And we've got another spacewalk in the books for the International Space Station. We'll show you more on that, and of course, your Thursday outlook for Hampton Roads. That's in 2 minutes.
This is Toledo. Can you guys hear us through the Zoom? Oh, I think I'm not here.
Well, I see you. Something wrong with that. You got your audio down over there? Yeah.
I can hear Ryan. Ryan, can you hear me? This is Craig Moeller, meteorologist at 13 News Now. Are you there, Ryan? Hello, Ryan, can you hear me? This is Craig Moeller from 13 News Now. Still trying to reach Ryan. We can't hear your audio right now, Ryan. If you can hear me, give our producer a thumbs up real quick on the... Okay, so you can hear. That's good, but we're not hearing Ryan coming through. Is that correct? Okay, still working on that. Sarah, if we want to jump to the next story and come back to Ryan, that's fine too, as soon as we get the audio reconnected.
I keep trying to connect over there? So apparently this isn't working, which is super weird.
Yeah, Ryan, can you hear me now? We have you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good. Yeah, stand by. Is it Witcham? Is that how you pronounce your last name?
It's Weekman, actually.
Weekman.
Yeah, it's weird. It's Weekman.
Okay, that's cool. Weekman. Welcome back to the weather desk. You know, earlier this week we had this fireball and there was a loud boom. This was in the skies over parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And I am delighted. You know, we showed you this video coming out of Pittsburgh. It shows that bright streak moving across the sky. National Weather Service says the flash was likely a meteor entering the atmosphere. And I'll tell you, somebody I know who had a lot of interest in this and continues to follow it. We have one of my colleagues from Toledo. We have meteorologist Ryan Weekman, and it's good to have you here from Toledo. Ryan, first of all, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the weather desk. Let's talk about this fireball.
Good morning. Yeah, this has been quite the week here. Up here in Ohio, we've had snow this week. We had tornadoes and severe weather last week. The last thing we had on our weather card was to see a fireball like this. But we got reports, it was just a few days ago, right about this time in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, that we had reports from some of our viewers that heard a large sonic boom. And we were trying to figure out what could that possibly be. And yeah, there was a meteor that came into the atmosphere that was visible during the daylight, which, as you know, is exceptionally rare to see that during the daylight hours.
So incredible, Ryan. And we live here in Hampton Roads. It's very military. You know, if you don't know, we've got the world's largest naval base and a bunch of military installations. So we'll have these different things, operations where people will hear things like that. But I'm sure it's a pretty rare event where you are to have something like this. Lights up the phones. Everybody's wondering what's going on. When did you guys start to put it together?
You know, it actually didn't take long. So we're no strangers to some of those sonic booms as well. Up here in Toledo, we have the 180th National Guard fighter wing up here. So we have the jets overhead quite a bit as well. So everybody said it sounded different than what we normally hear. A lot of folks described it as either a tree crashing down on like their neighbor's house, or they said it was a large truck that must have gotten in an accident out front. It was different than what we normally hear. And it's no surprise. I mean, this thing entered the atmosphere at 40,000 miles per hour, according to NASA. They said when it exploded, it released about 250 tons of TNT, or at least the equivalent of that when it exploded. And so I'll tell you what, in this day and age, the number of videos that we have, like dash cam videos, security camera videos, has really, I think, propelled the interest in this as well.
Yeah, it is crazy. It seems like everybody's got some video running somewhere. So we are getting a lot of these really awesome images. Now, you guys shared some graphics with us, and we had the image with the lightning detection, basically detecting some type of an explosion in the sky there. You had that you shared with us. How big of an area was this visible to? I mean, you guys, here you are, you know, over in Ohio in the northwest part of the state. This was over visible into Pennsylvania. This was a large area.
It really was, and it depended on where your cloud cover was, because there were some in our area who said they didn't get to see this. But we have reports as far away as Chicago, as far away as Pennsylvania, and up into New York that saw this. And now what's going to get really interesting, of course, that bright light and streak really grabbed the attention. But as you said, the GOES-16 satellite detected that as a potential lightning strike, which we know was obviously the meteor. And then it was also detected on National Weather Service radar. Both Cleveland and Pittsburgh picked it up. And so NASA's been able to run the physics and the calculations on it and detect where they think some of those smaller pieces, the meteorites, potentially landed on the ground. And just within the last couple of hours, we've gotten some of our first confirmations from meteorite hunters. This is a thing where people that know where meteors have been reported and go in and try to find it. Some of our first small fragments, you can see it on your screen right here, potentially that have landed. So obviously this still needs to be confirmed, but amazing that something so large as NASA said, maybe a small car when it came into our atmosphere, broke up into pieces that are as small as, look at it, just a couple of blades of grass.
It's incredible. This is kind of like the ultimate Easter egg hunt kind of prep coming up on Easter here. Folks going out searching for a different kind of an egg, in this case, the meteorites. Now, again, this thing was pretty good size. You said about the size of a car. It explodes, and now these fragments have rained down. This is a story, obviously, it's captivated our interest here as well. Folks are still buzzing about it, or is it starting to already subside a bit there?
No, absolutely, because everybody wants to see if a larger chunk's going to be found. You know, there's some people that are skeptical. You know, you see images like that streaking across the sky, and they go, was that really a meteor, or what in the world really was that? So I think finding some of the fragments are going to be important to push down some of those questions that people have. But here in Ohio, it's incredibly rare to find pieces of meteorites. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources, I was just checking their website, they've only have 14 confirmed instances of finding meteorites on the ground here in Ohio history. The most recent one was 1990, so 36 years ago since we've been able to confirm it. And the curiosity really still has everybody's attention.
Man, it is something else. And I'm assuming here, because we hadn't heard anything, no injuries or anything that we're aware of directly related to that.
No, thankfully not. And that was pretty cleared up very shortly as well. I will say NASA, with their projections and how the thing disintegrated in the atmosphere, they did project that perhaps objects up to 22 pounds may have survived that initial explosion and fallen to Earth. We haven't seen anything anywhere near that size. But of course, I just talked to one of those meteorite hunters this morning, and they said they're heading back out today. They want to see if they can get something bigger.
Man, it is something else. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, we will be interested to hear. So you all let us know if we do find some of those larger chunks showing up there, okay?
Absolutely. We'll love your show. This is really cool stuff.
Hey, thank you so much for being a part of it. Ryan Weekman from our sister station in Toledo. Thanks so much, man. Have a good one. And we're going to turn our attention to our local forecast now as we get into what's going on. Before we do, one other thing I got to share with you, and that's the spacewalk from the ISS. I love this. You take a look. They get outside and do some work on the space station, and every time they do a spacewalk, it is just breathtaking. We've got some video. Take a look. These are astronauts Jessica Meyer and Chris Williams. They spent 7 hours to upgrade one of the station's power channels, and the work will provide additional power for the orbiting laboratory. The mission marked Mear's 4th spacewalk and Williams' first. Now, there's still some work that needs to be done, which will be completed during a future spacewalk, but you just see them, the video images, crystal clear, and it is pretty amazing. And we're so glad they're able to do that and do that safely. You think about it, everything has to be tethered. You break free from that thing, and there's nothing really they can do. So it's so important. They're super safe, and they were another great spacewalk. Congratulations to them. All right, now we're going to turn our attention to what's been happening in Hampton Roads. We've had a couple of really chilly days. 48 the high on Tuesday, Wednesday's high 40. We had that rain Monday. It's been dry since. We're going to remain dry. I think there'll be some showers overnight Friday night into early Saturday morning, but I'm thinking it's not going to add up to a lot. We'll get some Friday night, but it'll pass, and it won't make too much of a dent into our deficit. As you can see, the winds are light right now. Nothing significant in terms of winds. I mean, a gust of 15 miles per hour. No problems there. Temperatures are warmer than they were yesterday, and we are on our way right now. Low 40s. Remember, the high yesterday was 40 degrees, so we're already warmer than we were yesterday afternoon. And we're going to hit highs up into the 50s later today. It's going to be a pretty good afternoon with some clouds out there this morning. We're going to see more clearing through the afternoon. Things looking pretty good. 10-day forecast, getting warmer through the weekend. Another drop in temperatures by Tuesday before we warm it up again Thursday into Friday. A little cooler for next weekend, but all in all, pretty good looking stretch of weather here as we look out. Now, as far as the extended outlook, and I like to do this, show you that 8 to 14 day outlook, drier than normal out west and in the southeast, including Norfolk. This takes you from the end of March into early April, and temperatures are going to be above normal as we go along. Out on the water, no small craft advisories. Winds are light, waves are calm. That's a good thing. As we check in on the tree pollen, it is moderate today. Again, today looks really good across the region. High pressure's in control, and that's going to provide a lot of sunshine. While we do have a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning, that's going to thin out. We're going to enjoy a pleasant afternoon. While it's cool at the coast, low 50s there, it'll be in the mid to upper 50s inland. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Our temperatures are going to be going up. We'll see low to mid 60s near the coast, warmer inland tomorrow. Spring starts with the vernal equinox. That's at 10:46. Sun's direct rays start to fall in the northern hemisphere. That's where we are, so we're going to look forward to the warmer months to come. First weekend of spring will be warmer. Chance for showers again later on the day on Monday. I think we could see some in the morning, but we'll see chances for showers and then cooler on Tuesday. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Weather Desk. We'll see you next time.